Congratulations, you dominated so much of that game. Does 2-1 feel perhaps closer than it should have done?
Absolutely. I think, again, the margin should have been much, much bigger. The amount of chances, situation we generated, only to score 2 goals. I put the game into a state that probably wasn't needed, because I think the first shot that they had is the moment that they scored the goal. But that's the Premier League as well, and we have to grind up and suffer. But I mean, we are used to it when you see the attitude of the players. And yeah, we lost Ricky, we lost Julian. Declan has to play as a fullback, and I thought he was incredible. So that's the mindset.
Yes, Declan Rice was still running down the wing, right, and just show what he's all about.
Yeah, he's never played in that position. I spoke to him 48 hours ago. He said, what if this happens straight away? Yes, I'm up for it. So they love a challenge. They love, if we have difficulties, somebody is going to step in. And the players that have been injured, they come earlier than expected. So that's great.
It's not always easy, but to get a grip of the game as early as you did, that must have been really reassuring.
Yes, because it's a really good team. I mean, they are really well coached, really good players. They can ask you a lot of questions, and I thought we were very dominant.
The Brighton goal seemed to come out of nowhere. Did it lift their players rather than do anything detrimental to your players?
Well, it creates, again, a little bit of uncertainty, because obviously the 2-1 in this league, and with the quality that they have and the players that they brought in as well, is never close, but I think we handled the situation well.
And David Raya had a quiet game, but then when you really needed him with that save, it was an incredible save.
You have to make that save, which I thought it was sensational. I had a great angle from it, and well, that's what we need from players, individual performances, and in the key moments, step in.
I think we dominated, we controlled pretty much everything, should have scored more goals, should have been a bigger margin in the end, but that's the Premier League and that's football. Yeah, you switch off for 1 second and they can punish you, so we got the win and we got the 3 points, but obviously we would have liked it to be a little bit less stressful towards the end.
The small margins, they make the difference, and we have to understand how important it is. We have to understand which role do we have as individuals when we have to defend set pieces, when we build up. I think we proved it in the second half, but it's about doing it for 90 minutes. I think that's the key thing.
You lose Calafiori in the warm-up. Julian Timber's got something in training, so your players are going to have to be up for doing things that maybe don't come completely naturally to them.
Have to be ready.
Well, Arsenal looked to be cruising in the first half, Alan, but it did get a lot more nervy for them in the second. What changed?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what changed, Gabby, is that Arsenal, particularly in wide areas, caused Brighton so many problems because the 2 wing-backs, full-backs, and more often than not, they lost out on those battles. Saka was left so many times 1v1, and yes, for the first half, this was a constant. He went back, whoever was there, and they went past them, and as it caused them all sorts of problems. And they work it really, really well. And as I said, yep, they absolutely dominated Brighton and should have scored more goals, but they didn't. Similar sort of thing there. He works it to where he wants it, but the finish isn't very good. This is the goal. They force Brighton into what Arsenal want them to do, and they get the press spot on, really, really well. They work it well, and then all of a sudden, similar thing again. Not sure whether to go tight or to drop off. He doesn't really do either. And again, Saka's left 1v1, but he picks his head up this time and finds Odegaard, who's in loads of space, and finishes it off really, really well. It wasn't just down the right-hand side, it was also down the left-hand side as well with Trossard. And I mean, he must carry this ball, I don't know, 70 yards or so up the field, and puts Arsenal into a really, really good position to get to he gets to the byline. But that was a constant. Either side, as I said, causing them all sorts of problems. And then all of a sudden at half-time, Brighton change. They bring Wifa on, they bring Minteh on, and they switch Kadioglu to the other side. And I know Arsenal go 2-0 up early in the second half, but to their credit, Brighton, this is what they did really, really well. So instead of Arsenal causing them problems, all of a sudden that's their first effort on target. And then all of a sudden they're asking questions now, and it really did get nervy for Arsenal. It shouldn't have, with the pressure they had. They tried to put on in that first half. This is the goal here. They work it really, really well. Hit the post. Gomez is there to stick it away. And you're about to see one of, if not, the save of the season. This is an unbelievable save. They work it again so well. But look, there you go. It's those two down that right-hand side again. Little give, little go in behind. Wow. That's all you can see. You can see Herzl and his reaction on the touchline. Unbelievable save that is. It really is magnificent. So what could have been an easier afternoon if Arsenal had kept that up in the first half, it turned into a really difficult afternoon, but they got the 3 points, which is the most important thing.
Wayne, last week we had 2 goalkeepers on Match of the Day. They'd have probably spent 4 minutes analysing that and waxing lyrical. As a centre-forward, give us your appraisal of that save.
Yeah, I think it was a good height for the keeper. No, but in all fairness, it was an absolute incredible save, and the speed he has to get across the goal, and it's moments like that which win you league titles, and David Raya has many of them moments throughout the season.
Yeah. And it was endorsed by his manager, Mikel Arteta.
I think, again, the margin should have been much, much bigger. The amount of chances and situation we generated, only to score 2 goals. I put the game into a state that probably wasn't needed, because I think the first shot that they had is the moment that they scored the goal. But that's the Premier League as well, and we have to grind up and suffer. But I mean, we are used to it. When you see the attitude of the players, and yeah, we lost Ricky, we lost Julian. Declan has to play as a fullback, and I thought he was incredible. So that's the mindset.
In the end, the game lasts for 90 minutes, and we missed exactly the things we did in the first half, and the second half we missed in the first half, and therefore I think a set piece killed the game. Our own build-up mistake killed the game, and especially that we played without courage and without self-belief in the first half. That was not good enough, and then of course we showed a completely face in the second half with a lot of self-belief, with a lot of quality, I also think, and we had the feeling there was more in the game. Unfortunately, we weren't able to take it, but I think it's our responsibility.
So Arsenal take the 3 points, but Tim, it wasn't that comfortable, was it, at times?
It's been nervy. It has been nervy, and even in the Carabao Cup the other night, there's a lot of stress associated to their games at the moment. They're not putting teams away, and they are dominant at times. It's not clinical enough in their finishing. And I know from experience, and Ida would share this, sometimes stress kills you at all walks of life. I just think that in football, you need some stress-free days to take the pressure off, because the anxiety what breathes from the fans to the pitch, it will take its toll. And we're just over Christmas. Once that starts coming to March and April, to start getting on the final straight, I just worry for them. I've said from the outset, and I still maintain it, because I don't want to change my mind. I think Arsenal might have the strength in depth to win it this season, but they have worried me. The Wolves game at home, they scraped over the line at
Do they have the capability of seeing games out? They managed today, but they just managed. 2-0 up at home. There should be game over, 3 points in the bag.
Yeah.
And as Tim was saying, give the manager, give the fans a moment of relaxation. Instead, last 20 minutes were quite tense. They set themselves up great. Lovely goal by Odegaard. Obviously a bit of luck in the second goal, which is probably goes down as an own goal, but 2-0 up at home, you shouldn't be in trouble the last 20 minutes against Brighton.
And they are struggling in the dying minutes of games, in recent games, where you think it's a little bit shaky.
They were, another set piece, they're just the masters, the delivery is so quick, it can come off defender. Rutter there just gets his head on it, tries to clear it, and it just goes past the goalkeeper before he even sees it. The good news is there is some positives. There are players coming. Calafiori gets injured in the warm-up today, so he misses out, so that's bad news. But Gabriel come on, and Saliba played. So I think they're instrumental in them seeing it out. And they come on late on in the game, but they still had chances. And this is getting back in the game. There, you think, oh no, they're going to be... You can just feel the anxiety breed there from the stands to the pitch. Because Ida said, they finished second loads of time. Now they've done it before now. It's the fans they're listening to the noise. The outside noises, they're going to bottle it, and it cannot get to the dressing room, because once it gets to the dressing room, it can be crucial. It's
any title-winning side though needs a decent goalkeeper, and Raya is certainly
amazing.
Is he not?
That was just an incredible save. When we saw that live, we thought that was in. He just sticks up a big hand there and gets his fingertips over it. He'd be sore tonight, his fingers, probably dislocated a few, but it'd be worth it. Wonderful save.
That was a top-class save, wasn't it? So they get the 3 points, and that's all that matters in the end, but then they do have some tough games to come, including a match against Aston Villa, and we know how well they've been doing, Ida.
Yeah, they've been excellent, and they're probably, aren't they on their best run in the history of the football club?
Yeah, they are.
Which tells a story in itself. Going to play against Arsenal away is always going to be difficult, But if ever Aston Villa were confident, even going into today's game, they should, they can let themselves be confident, put it that way.
Well, they can, because they beat them, didn't they, in the last seconds of the game at Villa Park only a couple of weeks ago. So they go in there with confidence, and they've done it before. You know, derailed Arsenal's season before. Ollie Watkins, I remember him scoring late on with a lob over the top of the goalkeeper. So they're capable of doing it, and they'll go with confidence. So, yeah, Arsenal got it all to do.
The Seagulls' good form in North London, whereas Arteta will lean on the victory from earlier in the season in the League Cup as a reason to be confident. We will bring you all the updates, build-up, and team news in our football.london live blog below. Arsenal hang on to claim all 3 points and again move back to the top of the Premier League. Penalty claims made as Martinelli's cross sees Jesus pushed in the back. Martinelli cannot redirect the cross from Saka, and he really should have done, but the shot flies over. Trossard is replaced by Gabriel Martinelli, 8 of normal time to go. That is some save from Raya, who tips the ball over the top of the net. Straight in and good hold-up play. Marino's cross nearly finds Saka but is cut out. Gabriel Jesus coming on for Victor Gyökeres. Lewis Skelly makes way for Gabriel Magalhaes' return. That has energized the away side, who come close to scoring a second. Brilliant from Odegaard again as the touch takes 2 players out the game. He finds Saka, who has the chance to shoot and does, but the shot is blocked. Victor Gyökeres smashes the ball against Verbruggen's chest. Ouch! Trossard is scythed down by Coppola. Arsenal score from the resulting corner, but it could be an own goal. It is. Rutter headed in past his own keeper. Arsenal have hit the back of the net, but what does that mean for your bet? If you're ahead, you can end the game your way with the Sky Bet AKKA freeze and lock in the leg early. Great block to prevent Martin Odegaard from firing in the Gunners' second. Brings down Saka on the counter, clear yellow. Saliba does well to prevent Rutter from getting in behind. We're well into the second period now. What will happen late on? Remember, you can end the game your way with the